Hello everyone, Sentinel2 and welcome to another Fabric mod overview, this time on Sorcery Craft, a mod that simply adds a bunch of spells, as well as a casting table to create spells in. I'm pretty sure you can also find these in structures, such as dungeons. I haven't come across them in a pillager outpost though, and I haven't been able to find many other structures. So yeah, we're just going to go off what you can do via crafting these. So what you want is a spell, which is lapis surrounding paper, and a casting table is lapis and cobblestone surrounding a diamond. After placing it in the world, you then have access to spells, as long as I'm assuming you have the spell-like paper, as it sort of just shows up blank if you don't have any thing there. It sort of just worked for me afterwards when creative, so I'll just place this new one down. And yeah, so I'm assuming it's probably because I have the resources or because I have spell paper on me. We should try without it. And nope, okay, it's just working now. Before it just had it where it was blank, so I wasn't quite sure. Then I went to creative and it sort of just updated things. So yeah, but either way you will need some spell paper. Put it in the corresponding slot there, and then put the other type of material in here. So whether it be an Eye of Ender, shulker box, shulker shell, and other types of materials you can use. So if I just get, say, I don't know, some chorus fruit, and sneak right click obviously, it'll crash, which I didn't intend on doing that, but I'm gonna say I did it on purpose. So we'll just remove that, and we'll reload the game, so that's quite a bug. But either way, pretty much what you do is just put them in each slot, the spell paper in one, and the other materials in the other. It does have a way if you actually select the spell on the side of the GUI, and you do have the materials, it'll actually place them in the correct slots. So that is quite useful, but obviously you do have to have, I'm pretty sure, both slots empty before it'll actually do this. So if you had, say, some leftover netherite in here, but you didn't have any other spell paper, or you probably just had spell paper but you didn't select the other, it might not fill it in. We'll actually see though once the game reloads, but you can do that if you want to. So yeah, demonstrate that as well. One moment though. Okay, so we can just select this and it'll place it in. I'm assuming if we move that out, select the following, you can see it's not going to update it. But if you do have it where you have probably the spell paper in, and the other, so it's not going to either, as long as both slots are blank, it'll actually place it in for you. So yeah, and I think I've got every single one, so we can get this going. Yes, okay, so that's all just left over. Good. So, finally getting around to the spells, of course, we have Inward, which allows you to have it where it has the spell target the player, and if the spell fails, instead of rebounding, it will just do nothing. So I'm assuming you probably want to cast a spell, such as Levitate, for example, and it'll do it in a certain area, or if you just use inbound, it might have it where it does an on or off, rather than just you casting it to then sort of have it rebound after you've used the other, compared to, say, having another player executing a spell for helpful or trolling reasons. So if we just use this here and consume it, use Levitate, which again I'm assuming that was in an area. With effect type way, we've got Levitation 2 working there, as you can see. I'm assuming if we use Inward again, it may have it where it doesn't affect us, but we'll see. So we'll actually use that and see if the other spells don't affect us at all. We're doing it to a high point so I don't take as much damage with Levitation. There we go. So you got teleports. So actually get another inward, which again I'm going to have to craft these. So that's going to take a bit. You probably can do this commands, it's just I haven't been able to do such things like a /give or something like that, because it doesn't really work that way. So yeah, so we'll try inward, and then we'll try teleport 2. Okay. Not too sure there how that works. I'm assuming that might be for a purpose, and teleports target to a random location. There we go. So using it downwards I've got it working, rather than just a straight right click elsewhere. Oh, there we go. Maybe it takes a bit or something before doing it. Or there is just a small distance even with teleport 2, possibly. Or it takes a bit for it to update the game based on that. Oop, and you can use it on mobs, it seems. As long as they're not stuck with something like grass in the way. Interesting. Otherwise, you've got damage 2, which obviously there is damage 1, but there isn't a way to make it as far as I could tell with the GUI. Which obviously damages targets. We'll see how much damage 2 actually does to mobs. So it defeats a pig entirely, so that's interesting. It is quite effective for this version of the spell, so we'll try again. So possibly because they're undead, it's not going to work, so we'll try something like an Enderman, where obviously particle effects or projectiles don't usually affect them, and something like a creeper, for example. We'll try that, and it does make the Enderman go away. We'll try again, and so possibly 2 hits. Obviously not wanting to get affected by grass or other things. You've got heal 2, which I'm assuming will most likely defeat the zombie. I obviously don't have one, so I'm going to respawn. 1 in, which will obviously make them take damage, because they're undead. And if we actually do this in survival, get ourselves a fire charge, make us take damage, and actually see how much heal 2 does. I'm assuming it may be similar to a fire breathing, I don't know why I thought fire breathing potion, healing potion of sorts. So we'll just use that and see if it drops down, which it probably might. Okay, so 4 hearts or so, it seems. Dissolve obviously has it where it removes the target's status effects, so probably a milk-like focused one. So if we were probably taking damage, which I don't have damage currently, so just try firing that because it's still a projectile. And there we go. We'll actually put something like hunger or something else on us and see. Probably give ourselves hunger and poison, just to see. Hunger, typical, we'll do the same for poison. 100 and 100, because why not? And we'll actually get the other back. So we'll get dissolve, use that, and we'll just fire it up at ourselves, because why not? Because I'm obviously not very good at making it project otherwise, and it's now completely removed both effects.